Hi everyone, welcome to the third installment of the Unwind Your Mind Skills series. My name is Arden. I'm a student intern with the Healthy Campus Unit. So the Unwind Your Mind Skills series provides a study break with an opportunity to learn skills that can help you connect to different resources and services on campus. It helps you connect with other students and also cope better with the stressors of student life. So this month, we're very excited to be partnering with campus members representing the Undergraduate Research Initiative and the Office of Sustainability. So getting involved on campus and working with different community members is a great way to develop skills that will not only help you with your academics, but it will also help you in your career after university. There are many different ways to create partnerships and network on campus. And through different networking opportunities, we're able to foster new ways of thinking and create new ideas. So our three panelists today have been involved on campus in various capacities, and I'm really excited to introduce you to them and to hear some of their insights. So first we have Juanita here in the middle, and through her undergraduate program, Juanita has been thoroughly involved in helping promote and maintain a healthy student culture at the University of Alberta. She's worked and volunteered with various associations across campus to create events that boost student morale and accessibility to resources. For example, there's the World Happiness Day and the creation of sustainable food practice workshops. Juanita just finished conducting a research project funded by the URI stipend into how international students at the University of Alberta define healthy eating and what barriers they face upon arriving on campus to help inform campus programming centered around international students. So she's currently working on creating programming to alleviate some of the barriers illuminated through her research while pursuing her master's in public health, specializing in health promotion. We're very happy to have you, Juanita. So next we have Tony Long, and Tony is a recent graduate with a double major in psychology and women's and gender studies. As a recipient of the URI stipend and Roger S. Smith Research Award, he has focused on the healing and hope-building aspects of storytelling. Doing research has helped him prepare for his current role as the intern of the Undergraduate Research Initiative and also as a volunteer with the Sexual Assault Center. On the list, we have Justin Allard. Justin is a recent graduate of the University of Alberta's Environmental and Conservation Sciences program. He now works with the sustainability assistant. He works as a sustainability assistant for the University of Alberta's Office of the Provost. During his undergraduate, he held internships with the Office of Sustainability and the Healthy Campus Unit and took on other roles across campus. As a volunteer, Justice represented his faculty on student council for 2 terms and sat on the Social Environmental Responsibility Committee for 2 terms and was a co-chair for the Student Umbrella for Social Justice. So thank you everybody for coming. So how this will work is we're going to go through a series of panel questions, and I'll start by asking a question and we will have each of our guests here today answer each of the questions. So we're going to start with what do career and academic wellness mean to you? How do you find the two working together in your different roles on campus, be it as a student, staff, or researcher? And we'll start with you, Tony.
Great. So basically, your career wellness means to me is that, we're more than just students. We're here, we're more than just sitting in class, absorbing all the information. We're also curious. We have questions. So think those questions that maybe you have at the end of class, that you're interested in exploring. At the Undergraduate Research Initiative, we always say a question can take you anywhere. And so it's interesting to also be able to know that, we are thinkers, innovators, and leaders. And so being able to have that question take us into those places where we can explore different aspects about, could be something like how the world operates, to like how to find a protein or something. I'm not from sciences, but something like that. But even being able to use the knowledge that we gain through class and have them translated into applicable skills that can help us no matter where we go, whether that is an academic path or a non.
Absolutely. Thank you for your insight. And Juanita?
So for me, I think, wellness is being content with your situation and being in a place where you're able to thrive. I think as a student, we often really focus on our academics. We're really focused on those grades, getting those tangible skills, those technical skills. Part of my role as a career advisor with the Career Center, we often say careers are about finding meaningful work for you. And so as a student, what that really means is not to just focus on academics, but to focus on experiences that are going to help propel you to where you want to go or help you to get some insight into what you may want to do after school. I think as a staff member and as a researcher, for me, I draw a lot on my academics to be able to go through those career paths. So it's a switch when you're a student, you're focusing on academics and then kind of bridging off as, and when you're working, then you become your working sorry,
No.
you're focusing more on your career, and then you kind of, in that role, some of them go back and do schooling to kind of add more depth.
Mhm.
But I think the biggest thing is it's always a lifelong process, right? You're never just academics or careers. They kind of go together, and they're also based on your experiences both in and outside the classroom.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Justice.
Yeah, and I think for me, and I think I agree a lot with what's been said already, but for me, I see academic and career wellness as the kind of facets of your life that are providing, structure and excitement and meaning and drive, and they're challenging you and they're supporting you if it's, if you're building skills or if it's, your life or your livelihood. And during my undergrad, I was often student staff. And that's an interesting kind of line to walk. But I find, I guess for me, the best way to sum it up would be ideal academic and career wellness supports your other aspects of wellness and supports your life and allows you to, have that excitement and to be learning things without hindering those other aspects of your life. And I think that's the balance to walk of, and it, took me a long time to realize that, a 4.0 can't replace 8 hours of sleep or something like that. Like it's all about finding the balance. So.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So moving on to our next question, we would like to ask, what advice would you give to students that are looking to get involved and build career and academic skills in some way outside of the classroom, but don't know where to start? And how about we start with Juanita?
Okay. I think at the Career Center, we always talk about planned happenstance, which is this idea that, any experience can be both good or bad and can help inform your decisions. The biggest advice I tell students all the time is, just get involved, keep your eyes and ears open. There's so many places on campus, whether it's those bulletin boards, talking to your profs. The biggest thing is if you have an idea, tell people about it, because chances are the more people you tell, somebody's going to be able to connect you to the right resources. But I often find, and this was with me when I started school here, that I was scared about jumping into experiences because I wasn't sure if I had the requirements or the skill sets to succeed. And I tell students all the time, we as students, that's kind of the benefit of being a student, is you get to engage in experiences that you for. So there's no harm in applying for things, even if you don't get a position. That whole process of applying, going through an interview, it only makes you a stronger individual. So don't be discouraged. I'd say, just jump for it. If something seems interesting, read those student digests. There's a lot of stuff in there, but there's a lot of good opportunities too. Yeah, and connect with campus resources, whether it's the Healthy Campus Unit, URI, the Career Center. We're all here to help. We're all staffed by students, right?
That's awesome. And Justice?
Yeah, I think the main thing, honestly, I would like to do is reiterate that for me, a big barrier to getting involved in the first place was not feeling qualified. And that was, not even feeling qualified to, join a 3-hour a month volunteer program or something. And I've talked to a lot of people who are like, well, I would like to do this, but I feel like there are more qualified people and you feel intimidated. And I totally understand that, but I think I would like to just reiterate that the benefit of being on campus is that we're all here to learn. And for the most part, Encountered is very accepting of and supportive of people wanting to learn and wanting to get involved and wanting to try out different things in the kind of weird little world that we build on campus, where you can try out a smaller version of anything you could ever want to do on campus, whether it's a leadership or being a representative, student governance, starting a group, getting money, writing grants, starting a business. There's a trial version of anything you could want to do on campus. So I guess from a practical point of view, what I'd say is once you start to get involved, I found just so many opportunities open through talking to people, through just sort of approaching campus from a lens of what can we be looking for and how can we get involved. And I think some great outlets are definitely read newsletters. I know so many campus organizations rely on newsletters to send out opportunities. Read newsletters, check out clubs, fairs, posters. There's Student Life Central in the basement of Sub that has opportunities. Talk to recommendations or ask for recommendations with organizations you're already involved with your peers. And one thing I would definitely also say is that most faculties have an internship or co-op program. And just, a lot of great opportunities are there for, especially to kind of support your career wellness and to get opportunities working in your field. So I would definitely recommend checking out that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just adding on to what everyone's been saying so far, I really love reemphasizing the theme of approaching a professor or an employer if that's something, if they're doing research or they're working in an area that you're really interested in. And I know that's really scary to approach someone, especially if it's not someone that you might know right away. And that's like just taking a chance. A lot of the opportunities that I kind of explored throughout my undergrad and continue to explore is through approaching people. And honestly, for my current job right now, I actually had approached the coordinator for an interview about like, oh, what is this job like? Because it's also a good opportunity to see, it's a two-way thing too, because it's a good way to see if it fits for you too. And so the best advice that she gave me was, she said, have you ever watched Magic School Bus? Because Ms. Frizzle always says, take chances, make mistakes, and get messy. And that's okay, you don't have to be perfect. And that was the exact same quote I used when I was invited back for an interview with the URI. So, and it got me to where I am today. And so that, I will leave with those words from Ms. Frizzle. Thanks, Ms. Frizzle.
I love the positive, encouraging message that everybody here has spread for this one question. So we are going to go with one more. So I'd like to ask, has there been a time where you worked with someone or service on campus where you learned something from them that you really didn't expect to? And can we start with you, Justice?
Sure, yeah. For this question, I'm just in like very specific, every opportunity I've been involved with, I've learned something that I wasn't expecting. And every opportunity or every involvement opportunity that I've taken has kind of led me somewhere that I didn't think it was going to, and that looking back, I can't imagine where I'd be now without that. It all started from taking on a 3-hour-a-month volunteer position as campus sustainability volunteer, which led me to internship, an internship with the Office of Sustainability, where I thought I would just be doing outreach, and I ended up learning about marketing, I ended up learning about communication, I ended up learning a lot about myself. It's amazing what you'll learn when you have to talk to people for 8 hours a day, all year. You learn a lot, and it was very challenging. But on Students' Council, I had the opportunity to become a better writer through, being involved in writing policy and governing documents. I had an internship with the Healthy Campus Unit, which came out of my internship with the Office of Sustainability. I learned elements of teamwork, design, and communication, all of which, now when I'm writing my resume for jobs that, I want to be my, career and furthering where I want to go in my life, pretty much nothing on my resume is like what I learned in class. It's all things that I ended up learning through the process of just kind of following these opportunities and unexpected things. So.
Right, absolutely. And Juanita?
Just reiterating what Justice had said, I mean, the more you get involved, the more people you meet, the more mentors you have, and you learn so much from them. And I think the biggest thing for me is it kind of changed the way I was thinking. A lot of my experiences pushed me out of my comfort zone, but helped me to be a better learner and understander. So one thing that really struck to mind is when I started my research project, I was concerned because I noticed a lot of my friends who were international students, they weren't eating healthy. They weren't able to use can openers. They had a lot of misconceptions about the food bank on campus. And I really wanted to look into, helping international students eat healthier. That was my research question. And I remember consulting with the Office of Sustainability. And Emily, she's no longer there, but she was working with me, and she said, you can't ask that question because it already implicitly assumes that all international students don't eat healthy, and that's not true. And that got me to take a step back and think, okay, well, what am I trying to do? How can I reassess? How can I be more inclusive? And then the question kind of turned into defining how international students define healthy eating and what barriers they face. And so even simple things like that, right? It pushes your assumptions you make, and it also pushes you to think in outside the box. And, so I just encourage students to get involved. That's just a personal example from my really profound experience. And now when I work with different communities, I'm always mindful of what assumptions I'm making before I work with them.
And Tori.
Great. And so I guess what I've learned is that there's always going to be this degree of uncertainty or vulnerability whenever we're getting out there and wanting to get involved and sharing our ideas and our thoughts and our research and to have that go beyond the class. But that's really where the learning takes place, knowing that, what you're doing in class right now that can really go beyond that, and that sharing our ideas or research or whatever it is that we're working on, putting that in kind of a public space and sharing it with other people changes that work completely and allows us to translate those ideas in a way that is meaningful for us and those around us, whether that's contributing to a larger conversation that's going on in the world, or also helping you to grow and learn as a student as well, and some of the possibilities that you can pursue moving forward.
Wonderful. Well, thank you everyone for being a part of our session today, and thank you for tuning in. And we're so glad that we had a group of students here to share their insights with us about getting involved on campus and how to build very tangible, transferable skills both inside and outside the classroom. It's also really interesting to see the ways in which we can get involved on campus in different capacities and build a network of individuals and partners that can really help facilitate our growth, facilitate new ideas, discussions. So thank you so much to Tony, Juanita, and Justice for sitting on our panel, and also a special thank you to Trina Innes of the Office of Sustainability and Crystal Snyder of the Undergraduate Research Initiative for consulting with us on this installment of the Unwind Your Mind Skills Series. So please stay tuned for our next installment of the Unwind Your Mind Skills Series. On December 6th at 11 a.m., we'll be discussing meal planning during final exams with Echo Blue Flame Kitchen. Thank you.